Today we're at one of the most famous, iconic landmarks in the world. But Tower Bridge has plenty of surprises in store, as we're going to find today when we go behind the scenes in some really privileged parts of the bridge. Welcome to the secrets of Tower Bridge. The most impressive part of the bridge is the Bascule Chamber.
I like to think of this as being like an auditorium. You know, it's kind of like you're in an old Greek amphitheatre. Where we're stood now is the large chamber that accommodates the counterweight. So when the bridge will open upwards, a counterweight on either side will slide down into an empty chamber, one where we are, one in the other tower. So what is going up is equalised by what's going down, which means that every time we open for a ship and hold up London's traffic, it's nice and quick and smooth, and it takes only about 5 minutes in total.
The bridge is finely balanced like a seesaw. It takes not the greatest of strengths to slightly tip it up and raise the bascules.
There used to be a rope they put across the street and they'd ring a bell, but then on the 30th of December 1952, a bus was coming along. They were too slow putting the rope out. The bus kept on going as the bridge started to open. The driver had to speed up and jump to get across.
There have been at least 6 aeroplanes that have flown through the middle of that bridge over the years, and 2 of those occasions it wasn't planned or anything. The pilot just decided to do it on a whim and then later got in trouble with the authorities. The raised walkways on the bridge offer views to the east, to the west and straight down.
Down next to us here on your right is the Tower of London, after which Tower Bridge gets its name. More importantly for our story though, is the stretch of water in front of you. This is called the Upper Pool of London, and it's where the busiest port in the world would have been in the 1890s when this bridge was first built. And that's the reason why the bridge was designed the way it was, to open upwards, to allow those cargo boats to come into the water, unload their cargo whenever they needed to.
The bridge was built and it's maintained with funds from something called the City Bridge Trust, a remarkable charity which was actually set up in the 13th century. It's been going all these years and it pays for all the bridges that come out of the square mile for their building and their upkeep. So no public money went into this bridge. So the bridge opened in 1894 after 8 years of construction. It was designed by Sir Horace Jones, who students of London's history will have heard of before, because he was the guy who also gave us Smithfield Market and also Leadenhall Market in the city, 2 beautiful ornate Victorian buildings.
You can appreciate the 2 types of stone that we have here. So the rougher hewn dark grey, that's from Eddystone Quarry in Cornwall, but the beautiful Portland stone that you can see is where the decorative elements are, so around the windows and the parapets. It's the same kind of stone you have at Buckingham Palace and St Paul's Cathedral.
One of the engine rooms hidden within the bridge contains 2 very different engines, the original Victorian and a modern hydraulic system. There are 2 cabins on the bridge, one of which has the modern machinery to open the bascules, but one of which has been preserved in its Victorian state. We're now entering one of the towers, and if you look up you can see right into the roof space.
You can see these statues of the men who built Tower Bridge. Now there's over 2,000 people involved in building the bridge, and they really loved working here, partly because of the rate of pay. For each of the rivets that they put in of the steelwork, they'd have been paid 2 old pennies, which is twice the going rate anywhere else. So it's a very well respected job. What they were doing was heating up rivets to white hot and then literally throwing them through the air to be caught and then hammered in. And that's what the 2 characters above us are doing. One is the holder up, holding the white hot rivet in place. The other one is the basher, he's called, and he's bashing it in.
The bridge experience ends in the old engine room, where you can see some of these glorious Victorian engines in all their beauty.
So what you're looking at here is one of two original Victorian steam engines. What's happening is this big, long silver piston that you see here, which goes the whole length of the engine, that is being pushed backwards and forwards by the steam coming in from the boiler so that it can engage with the engine, that's the green part, right down the far end of the room. By that piston going backwards and forwards makes that pull water out of a tank and then force it under pressure to the accumulators, just like a syringe giving an injection. So these are two of the accumulators. This is my favourite part of the bridge actually. Originally there would have been 6 of these, and the idea was that force pump that was engaged by the steam engines that was shooting water to here, and there'd be a piston inside here, and it could elevate this up a tall tower. There's 100 tons of pig iron stacked around the piston inside it. So the higher it goes, the more pressure it accumulates, hence accumulator. The accumulator, all the water, all the weight inside, plus gravity as well, all makes it drop. And it comes down and through pipes at 13 times the pressure of the water coming out of your bathroom taps.